To begin adding your suppliers into Passport, you can start by either choosing the Add ribbon at the very top and then choosing Supplier from there, or by going to the folder tree, selecting File, and then choosing Supplier, or by beginning in these life cycles here and scrolling down to Supplier from here. For the supplier code, you can enter you can either activate a barcode generator and provide sequential barcodes for each supplier, or you may want to use something like an abbreviated method that will make each supplier easier to recognize. Once you've provided a supplier code and a supplier name, you can then put in a contract number if you have one, as well as the certification date for that contract. In the section below, you can list the company's address and phone number. Once you have all the address and phone number listed for this supplier, you can then click on the Contact Info tab and you can add a specific contact point for this supplier if you have one. Once you've added the contact info for your contact point, then go ahead and click the Models tab, and here you can select the specific models that you receive from the supplier. Just choose them from the drop down, click the Add button, and you'll see they'll be added to the list here. If the items aren't in the list, then at that point you can either click the green plus sign and add the additional items, and then click Save, and it'll be added to the drop-down list. Or if you wanted to browse through a list of all the items, just click the magnifying glass, choose the item that you wanted, and then click Select and Return, and it'll add it to the list. If you have any documentations, such as receipts or even technical documentation, you can either select it from the drop-down menu, or if it's not there, again you can click the green and white plus sign, and then browse the computer for that documentation. Once you have the documentation selected, just click the Add button, and you'll see it'll throw it into the information for this specific supplier. And finally, if you have any additional notes you need to add for the supplier, you can go ahead and do so at this point right here. Once all the information's been added, just click Save, and now the new supplier has been added to the database. Now, you may find at some point that you need to add additional data capture fields than what's provided here. To do this, you'll need to be logged in as an administrator. Once you're logged in as an administrator, you can then select the supplier, click Edit, and now you'll see all these user-defined fields that have been made available. So we're going to add an additional data capture field, and we're going to replace this UD text1 field. To begin, we can either click on the admin ribbon or click on the admin folder and come down to the field control option. Next, we're going to search for the UD text1 field, and we're going to look for that in the current text, and we're going to narrow it down by looking in the supplier form and clicking Search. Once we have the field selected, we can then click Edit, and now we can rename this field. Once you've got the new field name listed, at that point you can decide which groups are able to view and edit this information. Once you have that selected, click Save, say yes to changing the record. Now when we go back into the supplier form, we can see the new field has been added here. Finally, as a day-to-day user, I can log back in, come to the supplier form, and now I have the new data capture field available to enter the corresponding data.